This is American Cupcake. Welcome to Cupcake's Corner. High atop an undisclosed bar in an undisclosed town in northern Illinois. We are in the Tower of Cupcake here with my captain and coke. Yes, when I'm at home and not on the road, I can kind of partake in libations. So tonight, this may be the first of hopefully a couple if this goes good, but we are going to discuss The Last Ronin. The Last Ronin is this is a graphic novel. And a graphic novel, like we hear about, all these comic book movies, like, oh, yes, it's a graphic novel. Yes, I understand. It's a graphic novel. All a graphic novel is, see, comic book comes out like a magazine. There's episodes, there's series, there's volumes. So it comes out once a month, maybe once every 2 months, once every 4 months, some comics, if it's if it's a big deal. So what a graphic novel is basically the whole season of a comic book into one book. So like there are, let me see. So it goes into, it separates it by the, by the episodes or volumes of the comic. So I didn't finish it all because I did laundry and I read it while I was doing laundry today. And so there will be a maybe an on the road, maybe a Cupcake's Corner from the road. I'm thinking about doing that too. But I will finish the synopsis and the review. First of all, from what I've read, it is amazing. I've been a Ninja Turtles fan since the comics, since the I knew there was a cartoon show. My brother was little, but I was a big fan of the role-playing game. I was big into role-playing games, Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, I've got my +2 boots of walking. I've got my 20, my 1d20 to roll for initiative, and I've got my charisma. Obviously, I have a +10 in charisma. My intelligence is obviously +20, and strength, not so much. But there was a role-playing game, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, by Palladium Books. They are the same guys that made the Rifts role-playing game that I was a big fan of. It's if you've ever played like Cyberpunk, it's kind of like that, magic and technology all in together. But that's how I got into the Ninja Turtles, was the comics and the role-playing game. My little brother got into it because of the toys, and he and I, we played with Ninja Turtle stuff all the time. So I had a delivery near Brother Cupcake's house, and sister-in-law Cupcake, I dropped off some stuff, and sister-in-law Cupcake told me that Brother Cupcake had this waiting for me for Christmas. So let's delve in. When you first open these, it is written by Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. They are the originator. They are the original guys that made the Ninja Turtles comics, and they had kind of a falling out, which is why this particular comic is so important in in Ninja Turtles lore and lexicon, because this was, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, please correct me if I'm wrong. I have the comments here too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this was the first collaboration between Eastman and Laird since their falling out. And one cool factoid about the Ninja Turtles, in the very first Ninja Turtle comic, where they become Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they show a couple panels of a truck, and then there's this goo, this mutagen that falls on the ground and bounces and hits a guy right in the head, and then that canister goes into the sewer and then makes the rat and the turtles. The guy that got hit in the head is actually Matt Murdock and became Daredevil, and so the mutagen that mutated the turtles is the same substance that gave Matt Murdock his powers. Now, Marvel has sued Mirage Publishing for that because they don't think that that's appropriate. I don't know, but that's the lore of. So Matt Murdock and the Ninja Turtles are connected by that. So let's get into The Last Ronin. We all know about the Ninja Turtles. We know there's Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. We all know their weapons. They've got Leonardo has the samurai swords. Donatello has the side. I'm sorry, Raphael has the side. Donatello has the bow staff. Michelangelo has the nunchucks. I saw a video on YouTube that described why each turtle had those particular weapons. I'm like stuttering John on all kinds of prepared. Here we go, Dylan. But for example, like Leonardo was he was the leader, so he had the sword, but he had to, because those were obviously the most dangerous weapons, he had to, since he was the leader and he had more responsibility, he had to, kind of hold back with the lethalness of those weapons. Raphael had the sai because he was so hot-headed that he was going to kill you no matter what. Oh, and that's the difference between the comic book and the cartoon. In the comic books, the Ninja Turtles absolutely killed people. They had bladed weapons. Two of them had bladed weapons. So yes, people actually were killed and died in the Ninja Turtles comics. But Raphael had the shorter bladed weapons, and they weren't bladed; they were just for stabbing. That's because his hot-headedness, for him to do damage, he couldn't have, he needed to get in there so that he could, think about what he had to do before he actually went in and caused damage. Donatello had the bow staff, I don't remember, and Michelangelo, I don't remember why he had the nunchucks. So let us dive in here. So this is the first panel. You see, let's see, you see this turtle. He is the main character, and I'm going to call him this turtle because in the first, like I said, a graphic novel is just a culmination of all the, the monthly volumes of the comic. So in this first volume, where's my front camera? In the first volume, you don't know who the turtle is. So, and how the fuck can I do this? Settings, camera. Let's see, we'll do this one. All right. Is this how we're going to do it? This is how we're going to do it. So, you see here, you see those voice bubbles that are not actually coming from the character in the panel. What those are, is that going to work? Those voice panels are obviously, he's going through, for example, and the panels like this one says now, so it you jump back and forth in time. So there's people cold, huh? Forget the temperature. The toxicity levels are going to be off the charts. You'd be crazy to swim in that sludge. And these are voices. Fuck, I ruined it. But hold on. These are obviously characters off screen that are talking to the last Ronin about what he has to do. So, and that is the future city. If I'm going to do that, fuck this. I'm just going to turn the camera around. Welcome to Cupcake's Corner, guys. This is exactly what you get. Thank you for the 8 of you that are hanging out with me, talking about The Last Ronin. Cheers, everybody. So this is, I guess, New York, what became of New York. You see there's a wall around everything, and there's that big complex right in the middle there. Wish for Death. This is Last Ronin Part 1, Wish for Death. So you see the turtle. He's, looks like he's in a prison area. He's talking all this, and he's got to escape. And then all throughout the panels, there are he's talking to somebody. He's just not, they're just not in the panel. So it's obviously it's the four turtles. I'm trying to find. Oh, see, like right here. Can I get in there? Without the reflection. Yeah, you see, there's the main turtle, and then there's the other turtles in the background. So the other turtles are there with the last Ronin turtle talking to him. And if you can kind of guess what, but he steals a motorcycle, and then he's trying to get into the complex. What's basically going on, and he's talking to his brothers about, hey, they're saying, hey man, don't do that. You got to go in here. Hey, watch out. So then, this was a cool panel. You can take the boy out of the sewer, but you can't take the sewer out of the boy. What's that even mean? Then he escapes, and let's see, where's that one? So right here, this panel, let me show you what happens first. So it's obviously futuristic. It takes place, don't know when it actually takes place. Thanks for the 10 hanging out with me. Is that 10? Yeah. But so there we go. There are, where's that? Yeah, you see right here, there's like robots, like robot guards. And the last Ronin has to, he's actually got, watch out, hey. But in this panel, see, like, right here, he cracks this guy, bam, crack. And then in the very next panel, you see that eye? So that's actually a human in armor. And it's it's a cyborg. And then, like I said, the Ninja Turtles cut his head off, slice his head right off. So yeah, and Ninja Turtles actually do kill people. So then, there's a conversation going on with the other turtles. There was a better picture of all four of them. It wasn't that one. Oh, here it is. Yeah, see, this is right before he gets in there. You see all four of them are right there. So he gets into the complex. He fights off some guards, robot guards. And there's another panel of, where is it? Right there. It's the middle one right there. Yeah, see, there's a panel of him with the sword, cutting off two heads. Just not giving any kind of a fuck. Let's never lose focus. So then, he's pushed a thing in between two guys' heads. So as he's going, he's still running, trying to get into the building, into that building. And then we meet that guy right there. That guy is Oroku Hirotu. Oroku Hirotu is Oroku Saki's grandson. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Check the chat here. Yeah, the cartoons did made so they could kill them. Apple first for life. Right on. So, and so basically he's Shredder's grandson, and he runs the whole complex. So, he's, got all the computers and all the ads and stuff, ads. So then, god damn, I almost spoiled it here. So then the last Ronin, see, he's right there, trying to sneak in. He gets in with other, just lots of cool panels, lots of cool artwork. Like I said, this was by the original guys, Eastman and Leard, that did the original comic. So there's just the artwork, like this right here. Look at that. Like, that's just badass. It's, and you'll notice he has a black headband. That totally means something. I'm trying to find. So yeah, he's You know, he's getting in the building, and then there's Mousers. See, there's a big, nice battle panel right here. And then, right there, he falls out of the building. Bang! Falls on the ground. Out of a whatever story building. And there he is. You know, he's got to get up. He's, you know, and then all these people are, you know, tracking him. And then I forgot, this is important. So this part right here, he's on that motorcycle. He steals that motorcycle from this girl right here. And then that girl, after he falls out of the building and is on the ground. Oh, here's a good panel too. Fuck. Forgot to show this one. So yeah, he's obviously going to Oroku Hiroto's he's got to get revenge. He's got a destiny. He's got to finish this. That's his play. He's got to, so that's why he said, face me. So then he falls out of the building, and then she pops up again and tells the guards that are looking for the fallen guy, oh, he went that way. When he really went the opposite way. And then she follows a little trail of blood into a sewer. So then there's more, and then there's a panel with Hiroto, and then they show, God damn, I almost fucking slipped again. So there's the last Ronin going through the sewers. He's going through all the sewers there. And then as he's going through the sewer, he's taking off his cloak. He's throwing down he's got the bow staff that he's throwing down. He's got the sword, the samurai sword that broke actually in the battle. And then he's got the nunchucks that he's throwing down. And then he's got the sai that he's throwing down. And then he's, in this panel right here, you can see he's like coughing up blood. There we go. So he feels as if he's failed because he was, that was a shot. He was in the building. He was there, but he fell out, and throughout this whole panel, throughout this whole time, he's going, fuck, that fucking fall should have killed me. Like that, the height that I felt from, there's no way that I could have survived that fall. So he's dealing with that, as well as the fact that he failed his mission. It was, and then there's this, which is, it's a powerful panel if you're a Ninja Turtles fan, because and then throughout the whole thing, he's still having the turtles talk to him in the background. And that's Master Splinter's book, his father's book, and right here. So right here, that panel is probably the most important in this whole novel, in this whole graphic novel. This panel right here is the most important one. I'll zoom in on it so you can take a look at it. So it's the last Ronin there, and then you got all the turtles' weapons. It said, in the end, too little, too late. Story of my life. And that was him, I'm sorry, Father, I failed. Please forgive me. And if you look, he's about to commit hara-kiri. So because he failed, he was there. He was in the building. He was talking to Oroku Hiroto. But he, and then too much blood. So I mean, he's really going to do this. He's made his decision. He's failed, but then who shows up? But the girl he stole the motorcycle from, just in time. And then he falls, and And he's throughout the time he was falling, he was like, "No, I don't want to die like this. Not like this." So he lost a lot of blood from the battle, and then he's like, "Not like this." He's thinking that he just died, and that was it. So then she comes, and then so you can see her reaction right there. And then in this panel, where is it? There it is. What the? You're a Ninja Turtle. You're a mutant turtle? You're a mutant turtle. And then it's, beep, beep, beep. And then the next panel is beep, 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 beep. So you guys don't wake him up so soon. So then it was all a dream. There's all four turtles talking to the one turtle that was hurt. How did it go? Home? What do you mean home? Hold up. This is our old sewer. What, you were expecting the Ritz or something? So they're back to their old, how the hell did we, thank God you're up. So this is, so all the, was it just a dream? Remember, this was the first volume of the last Ronin comic. So, like, oh, shit. So, but again, notice how this, the one panel is one like color motif. This one is yellow. So, comic book fans will know, like, oh, wait a second. But yeah, they're and then obviously, so like the beat up, the last Ronin, he's like, what the hell's going on? And then he's like, oh my God. And then the next, I gotta do it like this. The next panel, whoops, fuck. Oh shit. April O'Neil. It's April O'Neil, everybody. Like, April, is that really you? Yes, it's me. And then right here, he's in a hospital bed. So obviously, and here we go. And I'm so relieved that you're awake. You really had me worked up, mister. But who were you talking to, Michelangelo? So, mystery solved. In the very first volume of The Last Ronin, the very last page of the first volume of The Last Ronin, we learn Donatello, Raphael, and Leonardo are no longer. They're dead. They are Michelangelo's the only one that's alive. So then that makes sense that he would have one weapon, and they explain why they only have one weapon of each. But yeah, all three other turtles died. Splinter's dead, and Michelangelo's the last one. He's the last Ronin. Let me go to the next volume here. So the next volume in the Last Ronin comic is called First to Fall. Now that you know that all three turtles are no longer with us, First to Fall, this is the story of the first one to fall. So it starts off, one thing cool about this, after the first volume, when you get into it, thanks for the 13 hanging out with me here. You learn that, so like this panel, you see, I don't know if it really carries over on the stream, but it's kind of it says then, dumbass. So this is then. This is the past. So you see right here, you see Raphael running in. It's a mess. Casey Jones and April O'Neil are married. They're together. They're living together. And then there's more. Oh, we were ambushed. What happened? There was a truce. Then it goes into the story of the truce between the Oroku clan and the Hamato clan. Again, in Japan, the first part of the name, Hamata Yoshi and Oroku Saki, like in Japan, that's like their last name. That's their family name. Cheers, everybody, as we take a sip of our Captain and Coke. 14 people hanging out. Hello. Talking about Ninja Turtles. So then the next panel is this. So obviously, that night that the Turtles came into April and Casey's house, something big happened. They broke the truce. The Oroku clan broke the truce, and they, it was chaos. And then we see this. We see Master Splinter. He was devastatingly attacked. And then there's obviously Raphael, the hot-headed one. He's, everyone's telling him, calm down. And then they start talking, they bring in Master Splinter, and then they're all focused on Master Splinter. And then you see April O'Neil. Her arm, you see her arm and her leg. Yeah, so her leg got cut off and her arm got cut off. She's putting on her cyber, her prosthetics. So something huge happened. And then they're just going on. April is looking at and then here is Michelangelo making some tea for he and his 3 brothers. And he's just talking, he's talking with his brothers. He failed his mission, and they're like, how many times has my stupid hothead saved your sorry asses? Leo, that's obviously Raphael talking. This is what I wanted to mention. How many times? And then there's that one. Not enough. And I think it's cool that the last Ronin is Michelangelo, because he was always the kidder, he was always the Joker, but in every single panel he's in, not including the flashbacks, he is hurt. You can tell, like, this is such a good book, I swear to God. Like stuff like this right here. You knew what my mission was in the tower, a one-way ticket from the start. So like he knew that he knew he wasn't going to come back from that mission. But look at like the art. Look at that. Like that was one thing that Eastman and Laird had. Like that's what set them apart. Although the Ninja Turtles comics was in black and white, the original ones, like no pupils, no nothing, no. But you could like he's mad there. You can tell. And then this was a cool little shot of just all, them cheering, with the tea. And then in the very next panel, they talk about, oh, hold on, let's read that. The last Oroku must die. So then again, you see the color palette of these panels, and they're more full page. So this is again a flashback. This was that night that they brought Master Splinter to Casey and April's house. Raphael, the hothead, is, no, fuck this. I'm out. I'm going. So he goes out, and then little Easter egg here. That right there, my friends, is Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird in their own comic, and you see they're eating pizza. So I'm positive that is just a little Easter egg for comic fans. But this is Splinter's daughter. I'm sorry, Shredder's daughter. And she is Oroku Kyari. Oroku Kyari. And so Raphael's, going around. And then there's, I don't know if you can see this, it's kind of dark. But, there's a rally. And then, every once in a while, a member of the Foot Clan gets taken, and we know it's Raphael. And then he goes in there, and then Raphael in these next couple panels just whoops all kind of ass. He is just whooping ass every which way, and then she goes, "Bring me the beast" or "Destroy the beast," and that's what they call them, beasts. And then I believe that would be the coolest of all tattoos. Just Raphael. And then just a huge battle ensues with Raphael and all these foot soldiers. And then this is a cool panel too. The arrows in his shell, and he's beat up, and then there she comes. And then they have a big, huge fight. They've got a fight, and that's a great panel right there. You think Raphael, oh, he's kicking all this kind of ass, you brute. And then this fight right here, and then they fall. They fall into the water, and then if you look, you see her hand grab that thing, and they're fighting, and then this happens. Right there. She drives that spike through Raphael's head, and then he lets go of his sai. She swims away. Raphael is sinking to the bottom. And that, my friends, is the end of Raphael. So he was the first to fall. I had to reread this a couple times, and I read every panel as I'm, because you're watching this going, hell yeah, all right. But in the back of your mind, like, oh shit. It's like when you're watching a movie and like when the hero is gonna die, you're like, oh shit, he's gonna die now. Like, oh my god. But yeah, this affected me. And this is actually the only, obviously all three turtles die. This is the only death that they show. This was impactful too. This is pretty solid. Like this was, yeah, no, this one hit hard. Like that hit hard. That was, and then next few panels are just exposition, basically. Michelangelo and April talking, talking about. And then, Casey, says, "Oh, Casey's still alive." No, actually, Casey is the girl that. Cheers. Casey is the girl that he stole the motorcycle from. That knew, oh my God, he's a mutant turtle. So of course she's she's kind of a badass. Anyway, so here is Oroku Hiroto. He's training, with his ninjas. If you don't, attack me with all you got, or I'll kill you anyway. Try to kill me, and then this was the guy, he's looking for for obviously better soldiers. So this was the guy that failed him in capturing Michelangelo. He failed. So he's like, listen, that's what happens. Okay? You fuck with me, you don't do what I say, that's what happens to you. See the skull get eaten by the crows? You want that? Like, fuck up. And there's more exposition. And it's basically Michelangelo and Casey Marie. We can call her Casey now. She had her little dojo, and she's practicing by herself, trying to pump up, and then it goes into the story. Oh, this was another cool part of this comic. So it goes when Michelangelo talks about his past and what he did, it goes into this kind of aesthetic for the comic, which it's full page, no borders, and it's black and white. So this brought back memories of the original comics. But this goes into Michelangelo's story, and this was the one cool thing that I thought. He was. I just started walking into the mountains. A kid from the sewer, the kid from the sewer of Lower Manhattan, straight into the wild. Bad idea. This is the coolest part. I'd seen photos of snow-covered mountains, but never set foot on one. And being cold-blooded, I didn't have a chance. I thought that was cool as fuck. The fact that they acknowledge that he's a cold-blooded creature. I nerded out with that. The fact that like the ninja, like I just thought it was cool. So, and this was obviously after all three turtles and Splinter died. So he just said, "So I found a place to find my end." But because, and this is why they mentioned it, because he's cold blooded, he went into he went to hibernation, and then when he thawed out, he was found, and they called him a monster. And then they beat him up, and then he was, and then he was like, "Fuck that," and he just beat the ever loving piss out of him. And this is where actually Michelangelo lost his Michelangelo-ness, being the funny guy. Oh, and this is where, yeah, in this panel right here where they're talking about where Casey is the exposition about what did you do, what happened. That's where I thought you were the funny one. Yeah, and then it shows him he's coming back to Manhattan. And then the what he wrote in Master Splinter's journal, the last page was no peace. Yeah, this is not your mama's Michelangelo. This Michelangelo is and then if you were a fan of the comics, this was a cool reveal. They've got Honeycut in the comics. There in God, what was it? Was it like the third volume? In the third volume, they go to this alien planet. They get actually the alien planet comes to Earth, and then they get teleported to the alien planet. They can't breathe. They got to wear these things in their mouth. And the aliens are actually like Triceratops. And dude, oh my gosh, if I can find that graphic novel, I will absolutely read it and get it on here. But they're these humanoid Triceratops things, and there's four of these Triceratops versus the four turtles. Dude, they beat the shit and kill all four of these Triceratops. Donatello's bow staff gets broken in half, and then you see the broken thing get like jammed right. Oh, dude, it's so cool. It's so cool. So cool. Leonardo like stabs one of them. So part three, we're going to part three. That is the third volume of the last Ronin comic series before it was made into a graphic novel. Because graphic novel, that's not really a comic book. What a graphic novel, it's like a book, it's like a novel, but it's the graphic one, so they draw it. No, a graphic novel is a series of comic books that have been made into one book, so that you didn't have to wait a month or two or three or four until the next episode, the next volume. So this is basically like binge watching a TV show. So yeah, basically this is Hiroto, Shredder's grandson. For those of you just joining me, 16 in here. Thanks, guys. He and that's that right there. That's his mother. That is Shredder's daughter. And it's talking about this just going back and forth. Here's the yellow tint means it's the past, and then here's the regular color scheme, so it means it's now. Just talking about what he's going to do, and he's basically the leader of Manhattan. He runs Manhattan, and so he goes up the on this big holographic thing, and you know, he says, there is Turtle, we have to find this mutant, and there will be nothing, nobody will stop until we find it. And then he implements martial law. So he is the leader, the dictator, and then people are obviously going crazy. Um, and this is always the cool part. Whenever Michelangelo is alone, he's always talking with his brother. Like, what are you gonna do? They it's and they're there in the background, and I thought that was a really cool. I thought that was really. I can't think of the word. But I just thought that was really cool the way they did that, especially in the first book, where you don't know who the turtle is. You don't know which one of the four the last Ronin is, and but the others are dead because the way they were just obscured in the background. You knew that you knew that the others were dead, but I just thought it was cool that you didn't know who this turtle was. And again, I think it's great that it's Michelangelo because he was never, he was just the funny one. He never had like a character other than the funny one. But in this, oh my god! And essentially, he's actually a whole different. He's a whole different character in this book. He's no longer Michelangelo. He absolutely is the last Ronin. That's I'm gonna have to say that. Let's see. Oh, so here is Michelangelo goes into April, and that's Honeycutt. Honeycutt on the planet where there were the Triceratops humanoids where they fought. Honeycutt was the obviously good guy species of alien on the planet with the Triceratops aliens. Um, what he did was he put his mind into this robot, and this was actually this comic was the one where the Krang, the alien in the belly of the big. That's it wasn't just one. They were a whole species, and they used robots, to. So he actually put his consciousness into a robot and helped the turtles in that little in that little adventure, and then he came back with them through the portal, and then he became part of. Um, they called in the toy he was called Fugitoid because he's a fugitive android, and they called him that like once or twice in the comic, but he was Honeycutt, so he will always and forever be Honeycutt. And then it's going into what happened with Honeycutt. Where is it? Right there. And then this guy is Baxter Stockman. You remember from the cartoon show, he's the guy that was the Fly. He has never been a Fly in the comic book. He was always just a really evil dude, just a smart, evil guy. He really wasn't even part of the Foot Clan. He was really by himself. So these panels are going into, there's Leonardo, and this is Leonardo and Casey Jones. There's Honeycutt and Honeycutt has, obviously he's a robot. He's got, brilliant robot smarts. And in these panels, Baxter Stockman wants to get Honeycutt and get his, so they're just, all of Baxter's robots start going at him. And then Honeycutt self-destructs to save himself. And so in these panels here, you've got Leonardo and Casey Jones fighting these robots. And since we know what happened to Raphael the last time there was a big battle, guess what happens now? Yeah. So that's what happens. And then that's what happens. Can I get that whole thing? Yeah. So, yeah, in that explosion, Casey Jones and Leonardo meet their demise. So that's two. There's the two turtles. And this was all happening. There were peace talks. That's what's going on. There were peace talks going on between the two clans, the Oroku clan and the Hamato clan. Again, Oroku Saki is the Shredder, and Hamato Yoshi, that's Splinter's master. So there were two clans. They were going through peace talks, but the Oroku clan, the Shredder clan, they betrayed the truce, and that's why this happened. They were trying to get rid of all the Hamato clan, and Splinter and Donatello, they actually went to Japan to, that's where they are right now during this explosion. They went to Japan to barter, to get a truce going on. And I believe after that, Raphael has already died in these panels. So, they have already lost one of their own. So then this just goes. And then these are panels of Casey Jones, the girl, getting, trying to get her crew together. And then it shows her fighting. And then here is basically her backflash story about what happened to April O'Neil. You see, where's that? Okay. Yeah, right there, the middle panel. There's April pregnant. And these are really, really, really reminiscent of the original comic. That's why these flashback panels are great. I mean, this whole book is great. Like these go here, find my way back. Yeah, and then see, she comes back with all of her thug friends to help the cause. And then here is Oroku Roto. That is, again, Splinter's grandson. Thanks to the 17 of you hanging out with me, going over the last Ronin. So yeah, he's thinking he's a god. He's, because he's defeated the turtles. He did everything his grandfather couldn't do. So he think, he's. And then there's just a bunch of exposition about, what they found. And then April O'Neil finds this tank that she's. All right, and then we come to now. So this is now. So this is now. So this is after he fell out of the thing. This is after he's all healed. This is after they know he's Michelangelo. This is after Casey Jones showed him his her little area. And this was so they're outside, obviously trying to get to a compound. There's this cool part. Here we go. So this is just a cool panel. This is just the two. So you see that everybody, just fighting, and then here's Michelangelo saying, "Drop some smoke, lots of smoke." But we now, Casey, and then she goes, "Yes, Sensei." So she calls Michelangelo Sensei. That was just cool. That was just cool. So he knows his shit. Yeah. So again, this is now. So they're running up. There's Michelangelo getting into it, and then there's Baxter Stockman right there, all cybernetically, wigged out. So the time passed, and then there's a giant cyborg, and then there's Michelangelo going against him, and then oh fuck, I can't believe it. So in some of this exposition, when Michelangelo's by himself, does that happen yet? Oh, okay, it doesn't happen. So I'm on track. So yeah, so this is basically showing that they're now a team. Michelangelo and Casey are now a team. She calls him Sensei, and this is her learning how to, that he is who he's the guy, he's him, and this whole thing. it's just like a movie. And, you know, he's saying, oh, and look, and see, there's the four of them back there going, can you see that? Yeah, see, there's the four of them telling him, you know, go easy on her, you know, and he's like, no, this is not the time to go easy. And then she starts saying stuff, and he goes, this is not a movie. Your moves are like a movie. And then it's just, you know, she's trying to punch him, and he's, you know, just shows the panel, you know, yeah, like right here. He caught her fist, and then he, you know, he flips her. You know, you know, she's good, but he's obviously better. She's not that trained in, you know, martial arts. Yeah, so all of these panels you can see, you know, they're fighting, and he's not beating her up. He is, you know, showing her like, bitch, you know, you you need to learn what you're doing. And then at the very end, calls him sensei and gives him a hug. Like, you're gonna teach me? And then of course April finds out and is kind of upset. And then it goes to Michelangelo's flashback on what happened. So I will he goes to, you know, he tries to, you know, after Leonardo was ambushed and Casey Jones, and he got, you know, blown up in the building, he goes to Japan to try to warn Splinter and Donatello. So he gets to the the Hamato clan, and you know, he's, what does it say? Okay, yeah. So they just, he goes to the clan, and they say, there are people, creatures, teachers, warriors, heroes, and legends. Your father, Master Splinter, was all of these. That's all they would say when he would say, hey, where's Donatello? Where's Master Splinter? And then it goes into the peace talks. So there's Donatello and Master Splinter in Japan going to talk to the Oroku clan. And of course, the leader of the Oroku clan was supposed to be there. And, you know, an emissary shows up. They said, I do not recall agreeing to that, but these are, they're saying, you know, you guys are, they said, you know, hey, you know, where's Oroku? He's not here. And they're like, Master Hiroto's overseeing the final preparations for the grand feast we will enjoy once the agreement has been confirmed. So he's like, wait, he was supposed to be here. And then the guy goes, this slimy guy right there. He goes, you're wearing weapons, and part of the agreement was you weren't supposed to have weapons on you. And Splinter goes, I don't remember that being a part of the agreement, but these are just ceremonial weapons. So where is Hiroto? He's supposed to be here. And then he's stalling for time, and then Splinter puts out his sword, and he goes, wait. So then Splinter is and then there's the three emissaries right there, and he's like, listen, either he show, you know, we're leaving. If he finally shows up, there is Roku Hiroto, and then Splinter, who pulled out a sword, remember, he pulled out a sword. And what did we learn about the difference between the Ninja Turtle comics and the Ninja Turtle TV show? Yeah, they killed motherfuckers. That is Master Splinter in one fell swoop, decapitating three motherfuckers. That is how badass Splinter is. Like in the cartoons and in the toys, he was just an old man that turned into a rat. In the comics, Splinter, he was like revered. He was a badass. Like, you didn't fuck with Splinter. And but they get ambushed, and you know what happens next. So there's Splinter and Donatello fighting. and then they get their archers. That's a cool panel right there. Yeah, Donatello, and then there's Splinter, and then there's Hiroto. And then there's Donatello being taken down with arrows, and then there's Splinter throwing his sword, and then where does it go? Oh, it goes right there. But the archers overtake them, and see, there's Donatello's bow staff. So yeah, that's where Donatello and Splinter meet their demise. And then, so we go back to the flashback, and then it's Michelangelo talking, and then they finally tell him. And then this is the panel that starts off his flashback. So here was the first one where he said, I just started walking, and then it goes into, it said he was cold-blooded, and then this panel goes, I just started walking. So in the first flashback, it's I just started walking. You don't know why. He just started walking. In this, you find out why he just started walking, because he just learned that he is the last Ronin. He's, his brothers are dead, his father's dead, his master. And then more exposition. Then it goes back to that. And then there's Baxter Stockman, who's they're trying to get to Baxter so that they can get to Iroku Hiroto. And there's battling, and let's do this, and then Michelangelo, there's gun. Oh, and there's guys in wingsuits that are coming in. I don't know if you can see that because it's kind of dark. And then we need to take out that cannon, so Michelangelo takes care of it. And then April O'Neil's back at base. And then this is so little regard that Iroku Hiroto has for Baxter. He basically said, what's he bitching about now? Baxter's, calling them saying, hey, we need backup. We're being attacked. And he's like, oh, he can handle it. Just tell him, tell him to send his robots out. He can fucking handle it. And then, so then that happens. And then he sends out the Mousers. And then, all is just about lost. And then who shows up? But April O'Neil in that tank that she had from a little bit before. So she's plowing through. And then the tank has an EMT emitter, so she shoots the EMT emitter. That gets rid of all the robotic Mousers, and they're going in, and then Baxter's shitting his pants because, oh my God, they're getting to me. And then she brings out Honeycutt. And Baxter and Honeycutt, he's been wanting to get him for a while. And here's the panel. Honeycutt, there's Baxter right there. Right there. There's Baxter Stockman getting into it. And then Baxter tries to get Honeycutt, and then Honeycutt does a little EMT blast of his own. And everyone's going crazy, because he's got to get this, and he's trying to stop Baxter. And then Baxter grabs him, grabs Honeycutt. And then Honeycutt, this was important. So Honeycutt, before he blew up, the past, he tried to stop it and said, "You shall not pass." And then Baxter was like, "Whoa!" So then Honeycutt says it again, and Baxter's like, "No, he's just." And then Honeycutt just, Honeycutt's right there, and he's like, "You shall not pass for my family." It shows, Michelangelo for my friends. It shows Casey, and then for my everything, it shows April, and then he just blasts the shit out of Baxter Stockman, just turns him into a pile of dust. And then everything's powering down. Baxter's dead. The nanobite swarm, Honeycutt is now in control. So they hooked up Honeycutt to the master control of Baxter Stockman's computer system. And, just all the robots, they went offline. All the robots of Oroku Hiroto's robot army were controlled by Baxter. I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry. So now you got the citizens of, they're going against the robots. They got their. And then there's Casey. I think we won. We won this battle and not the war, and not at the price I'm willing to pay anymore. So he's putting the sword away. And then here's Michelangelo right there now, and his brothers are talking to him. I think I was only in this room once when Father was still alive. Looks exactly the same. Whatever, Don. How much longer are you just going to sit there, Mikey? Until I'm done. That's how long. Stop talking. So it's just Michelangelo, probably in Master Splinter's study. The other turtles are speaking to him, and Raph's right. You're wasting time, Mike. Why haven't you pressed the attack against Hiroto yet? That is Leonardo saying that. He's got the swords behind him. You guys caught it completely off guard. You've got the advantage. Tell me something I don't know, Leo. Then Donatello. Well, I know why you're just sitting in this room. You're the sole survivor, the last of us. That's a heavy burden to bear. Painful, too. And then here's Raphael. Seriously? That's what you're having second thoughts? That's why you're having second thoughts? Ha! I knew you weren't strong enough to handle this. You never were. Way to let us all down, Mike. Then Michelangelo. Go to hell, Raph. I wish I could bring you back just so I can kill you myself. And I know damn well what I got to do. Finish this. End this insanity. And that's going to bring it to an end. We are that much through it. So I did want to stop here. We're about an hour into it. Couple of things I did want to mention too that I forgot to now that I'm bringing it up. When Michelangelo, I'll leave that cliffhanger. We'll finish up the synopsis. We will finish up the synopsis. Oh, you know what? Maybe we'll do it tomorrow because thanks to 21 hanging out. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow because I don't have to leave here. I got to pick up a load in Wisconsin at I think 5 o'clock. So I don't have to leave here till like 3. So yeah. So but what was happening is why Michelangelo was able to survive. Well, basically, the turtles never stopped mutating. So Michelangelo is, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's more resilient. He's they go into that. I totally forgot to mention that was a very cool part of the story. But yeah, he's bigger, he's stronger, he's more resilient, and that's part of the mutation. He's still mutating. Let's see. What are you reading from, and why are you reading it into your toaster? Well, because the toaster is the one that's paying attention to me. And I'm reading from The Last Ronin. It is a graphic novel by Eastman and Laird, the writers of weirdly, it's 720p, but yet I believe this camera's from. It's actually from the 1930s. It's a vintage camera. I got it here. I'll let everyone read that. Thank you, Rochi. I got it from an antique store that's just down the street, and I'm surprised that all the way up here in CUPCAKE'S Tower that it works. You know, high atop the undisclosed bar in an undisclosed city in northern Illinois. Cheers. But yeah, Michelangelo, he has mutated. You know, he keeps mutating, so his mutation keeps getting bigger. So I hope you guys enjoyed the book review of The Last Ronin. I don't know if I'm going to be doing any regular book reviews. I might just buy a bunch of graphic novels and mangas and review those, because it's easier to show a book and show you pictures and stuff. Like it if you liked it. If you didn't like it, just hit that like button anyway. Follow me on Twitter. Linktree is in the description or in my profile here. At Box Truck Cupcake on Twitter. You got me on YouTube. I am checking out now, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me, the 21 that were just here, the 19 that are here now. I'm going back downstairs to the undisclosed bar to hang out with some people there. I will talk to you later. See you on the flip side, everybody. Bye.